You are listening to Trophy Horse with your hosts, Tricky Nick, Alex, I Yield to Nolan, Sid, and Ender Phoenix.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Trophy Wars. This is episode 711. I was going to do like a 7-Eleven theme, but I forgot to do it. I'm your host, Ricky Mick. Alongside with me, the man, the myth, and the legend. It's Alex.
This feels weird, sitting down to podcast on a Sunday night.
Really, because we haven't done it in 3 weeks?
It's only been 2, hadn't it?
Well, this would be, if we missed this week, it would have been 3.
Well, yeah, this does not feel like the norm now, sitting down to record a podcast.
No. It is the norm of you showing up late, though.
At least I can show up. It's not a dig at Matt.
He's the man that likes to burn everything on fire. It's Matt.
Burn everything on fire is kind of repetitive, tricky.
Set everything on fire.
There you go. Now you got it.
It's been 3 weeks. Give me a break.
I always give you a break. I have a Kit Kat in my... I actually got like 4 Kit Kats in my fridge right now.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I got 4 Kit Kats in my fridge right now.
You gonna share?
No.
I got an offer for you. I'll give you some Thin Mints if you give me a Kit Kat.
I don't like Thin Mints.
Samoas. Do-si-dos.
Well, now you're getting worse.
Samoas are okay.
You're getting worse. If you're not doing the peanut butter patties, then if the taker doesn't want the Thin Mints, then
I'm not offering them to you. I'm offering them to Matt, who actually has good taste in food.
dude, he turned down your first offer of Thin Mints.
Well, that's the go-to with Girl Scouts, but not.
It's peanut butter patties tag-alongs, by the way. But then you go down to the ones with coconut on them.
Matt, do you want to make a deal?
You can offer the shortbread ones to him too.
Frankly, I'm more valuing the jumbo Reese's peanut butter cups I have in there than the Kit Kat. So, I mean, I don't know how much I'm willing to deal over Kit Kats.
That's fair. Oh, gentlemen, it's been 3 weeks. How the hell are you?
I would say owning a house and having to now maintain a yard sucks.
Owning a house and having to maintain a house sucks. But that's the trap, because living in an apartment and having to pay rent every month also sucks. And you can't always rely on them to, fix problems.
So here's the fun part. Well, I think we've talked about it on the show that V is heavily allergic to bees and anything
I
like
thought you were going to say
that.
bullshit, which is why she can never be on a show.
She is. Ooh, snap. So what we did was last week, I actually found a wasp in my office. So I said, it's time to actually get a exterminator out here. So I did that. They came Thursday. They treated the area. They fogged the yard. I'm like, okay, good. You know what they forget to tell you? When you treat a house, it puts up a barrier, and that tends to flush out insects that otherwise may have been hiding, because now they can't exit the house. So where do they go? Into the house. So I wake up Saturday morning and I go to do my morning routine as I would in the bathroom at 7 a.m. And I hear something and I look at the floor, a giant fucking European hornet just chilling in the middle of the floor.
Just chilling.
Yeah.
At least it's not an African killer bee.
No, well, that's, I think, the reason why I didn't get my ass stung is because European hornets tend to be a little more chill unless you actually try to fuck with them.
Hold on. We're burying the lead. How the fuck did you know that was a European?
Because we dealt with a lot of them we dealt with a lot of them at our last house, so I know what they look like. They're actually kind of more prominent than some of the other hornets in this area. To answer your question of how I actually know it is because I used the plunger to trap it, and then I went and got a bottle of our wasp and hornet killer, and after I killed it, I got a good look at it.
You tried to suffocate it with a plunger?
No, I trapped it with a plunger and then suffocated it with the wasp spray.
All right.
Yeah, the
Alex,
joys of home ownership. I'm currently trying to find pieces to replace parts of a lighting fixture. Threaded tubes and lamp nipples and all this shit. Having to try to find this stuff on Home Depot and Lowe's. And also I've been to Lowe's almost every fucking day to get mulch for my mulch beds and topsoil and all this shit to fill in some spots in the yard. So yeah, home ownership's fucking great.
You guys are really talking me out of buying a home right now.
Bro, like you live in New York. Like, I mean, when you eventually, I assume, move to Virginia, you're gonna probably buy a house. I mean, you could always live in an apartment, I guess. But again, part of the thing that sucks about living in an apartment is you don't like own any equity or build any equity. You just throw money into a fire every month.
Yeah, but I don't have to deal with all this nonsense.
Yeah, but you got to deal with the
there's a
nonsense of
trade-off.
trying to get the landlord to fix shit.
Well, that's why you got to have a good landlord.
Oh, well, yeah, you certainly can find a lot of those. Dude, at one point, like, I lived in an apartment that I had to argue with, like, I had to go to an exterminator and catch a roach because the fucking people that worked in the front office wanted to argue with me that it was a water bug and not a roach, which I've been told that those names are sometimes synonymous with each other. But yeah, I had to catch one in a fucking plastic bag like I was fixing a goddamn sandwich and taking it to lunch with me and take that to them and be like, no, this is the fucking thing you need to spray for. So I'm telling you, landlords aren't always fucking great.
Wow. And here I was thinking I'd buy a house and stay in New York for 5 more years, but maybe I'll move to Virginia. I don't know. You're talking me out of buying a house.
Wasn't that always the plan?
No, I can actually retire in 13 months.
You know, when you retire, the amount of shitty games you will play will grow exponentially. Like, it'll be stunning.
Speaking of shitty games that I've been playing, let's talk about...
Oh boy, bring in the dump trucks, everybody. Just like Die Hard with a Vengeance, bring in the dump trucks.
Let's talk about our updated trophy count. I am level 982, total trophies of 35,608 with 1,038 plats, and there's only one good plat that I'll talk about, but we'll get into that when we're playing. Alex, your trophy, sir.
Have these been updated on the sheet?
They have.
All right, good to know. Although I've been lied to in the past, and you told me they were updated, and they weren't updated. I am level 533, total trophy count of 11,226, and a platinum count of 208 in 207 games.
Yield is level 543, total trophies of 11,883 with 228 plats. Matt?
I am level 224, folks. I went up a level because I think I earned a trophy because I am now at 1,382 trophies and still 0 platinums.
And Sid is level 902 with total trophies of 28,164 with 869 plats. All right. We are going to have a rarity update being passed in by Yield, so we're going to pass that in now.
Hey, everybody. Gareth is back from vacation, and we have ourselves a rarity update for you. So let's get right into it. Edge extended his lead at the top of the table with a score of 77 as he closes in on being the second contestant to surpass the 1,000 point mark. He sits at top now with 931 points. This is a lead of 95 points from second place Doc Chicken 13, who managed a score of 34, taking him to 826. Pee Wee again scored impressively, top scoring Division 1 with 120 points, and is now within 25 points of Doc Chicken on 801 in third. Fourth to seventh are a fair way back, but separated by only 52 points. Nitro heads the mini pack with 646, following an 89-point return this period. That helped him move from 7th to 4th, overtaking Marky Frazier, rolling on the floor laughing out loud Z, and Psychiatrist. In the process, Frazier drops to 5th, having scored just 16 points, taking him to 618. Psychiatrist, I can never say that right, stays 6th, thanks to his 33 points, moving him to 607. Rolling on the floor laughing out loud Z drops 2 places to 7th as he suffers some decay and ended this period with minus 5 points, reducing his tally to 594. Gareth, despite being on holiday, made use of his Vita to score 89 points, moving him up to 8th place with 481. I dropped to 9th by scoring 10 points with 423. Eifert Hellfire 90 moves out of the drop zone with a score of 59 points and is replaced in there by Redbeard Rick, who earned himself 27 points purely through legacy trophies. The two are separated by just 8 points with 372 and 364. Nightmare 317 props up the table with 339 points, but he's back to earning trophies and earned himself 14 points this period. To Division 2, we have Dupes 25, top scored with Division 2 this period with 169 points, including 3 Resident Evil plats. Daryl will be happy. This strengthened his grip on 3rd spot and reduced the gap to 2nd. The top 2, Shoddy Sniper 123 and CJ, remain in pole position promotion. Shoddy scored 66 and now sits well ahead with 1,393 points for the season. CJ had a strong week with 89 points, which took him to 765. The 4th contestant in this division to score big was Meets Goats a Lot, who hit triple figures with 111, taking him to 642, and still within the promotion hunt. California Wayne, with 122 points further back, is 5th with 520. California Wayne's 122 points further back in 5th with 520, following an 11-point increase. Mr. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle 84 is comfortably placed in 6th with 431, 134 points above his playing partner, the Grounded Gamer, who had 25 points, pushing him to 297. Tricky had his best score of the season with 46 points, moving him to 261, and is still in 8th, but has reduced the... I don't know what that is. Eras? To the Grounded Gamer. Crick 09 stays 9th, but now trails Tricky by just 2 points with 259 points, thanks to his 60-point increase this week. Alex remains 1 place above the drop zone with 196 points. He had 11 points by mopping up the DLC and Ghost of Yotei. The bottom 2 are still Waterfields 1 and Prometheus 101. The former earned 3 points, taking him to 152, while its Prometheus lost 3 points, reducing his tally to 128. Division 3, we have Dodge Williams, top scorer in the Division 3, with 32 points this period, moving him to 227 and closing the gap on the top 2 of the Big Don and Murray 2011. Those two scored 7 and 18 respectively, keeping Don on top with 535 and Murray in second with 339. Homer Gets Duffed scored 23 points, keeping him in 4th spot, still with 205 points, whilst Resident Daryl earned himself 16 points, moving him on to 182 points in 5th place. Darth Knight 82 moved up 2 places to 6th by recording the 2nd best score of the division, 29, taking him to 147. He overtook Dat One Seagull, who was both pointless and trophyless this period, remaining on 135 points. The Brain 76 was back to earning trophies and as a result picked up 6 points, taking his tally to 129 in 8th place. Both Departed 570 and Stink Bomb scored well. Departed with 17, taking him beyond the 100 point to 105. Stink Bomb moved on to 82 points following a 21 point addition. Big Bernardo B increased his score by 10, moving him to 57, and Kalai earned a solitary point, moving her on to 22 for the season. The rarest trophy of the week, in 5th, we have Alex with, I am totally going to butcher this, but Kaibaku? From Ghost of Yotei at a 5.39%. Meets Goats a Lot has You've Given 110%. From The Outer Worlds 2, 3.84%. Murray, 2011, has Zoologist from Planet Zoo at 3.25%. And second, we have Pee-wee, Legends of the West from Red Dead Redemption at 2.88%. And in first place, we have none other than Gareth with Stop, He's Already Dead from 10 Second Ninja X at 2.56%. That will do it for this update for episode 711. And if you're wondering what I've been doing for this time off on the podcast, not much. Working on Helldivers, working through the latest War Bond, working on super credits, and dove back into Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I think I got a couple more levels to go, collecting stuff, working through that. So hopefully we'll get a platinum this month and keep it rolling. Not for sure yet. Got a couple weeks, but we'll see. Anyway, enjoy.
Thank you, Yield, for that. We do not have a Sophie's Trophies, but I did touch base with Sid, who's going to be doing one for next week's show. It's going to encompass the last month. So we're going to have a big platinum shout out next week. And hopefully I get mentioned because I've got a new plat that I'm proud of. But let's get into what we're playing. Alex, we'll start with you, sir.
Well, I actually, because we haven't done this podcast thing in a while now, I actually have quite a few games to talk about. Even leaving out all of the live service games I usually play. But, waiting for the Ghost of Yotei raids to drop was, I had to get a little creative in what I was playing. So, when I wasn't playing Rocket League or Helldivers, I actually, from time to time, very randomly, I will get a wild hair up my ass and I will go watch a bunch of Mega Man ranking videos because everyone knows I love Mega Man. Hopefully Dual Override kicks some ass. Can't wait till they release the pictures of the Robot Masters. But it's been a while since I played the X series, and for those who don't know, maybe you're a new listener around here, I think Mega Man X is the best Mega Man game ever made. So, I went back and I played Mega Man X. And I beat the 8 Mavericks, and I stopped there because that's what I usually do, because, maybe this is a surprise to some Mega Man fans, but whether we're talking the Wily Castles or the Sigma Palace, or the Sigma Fortress, whatever you want to refer to it as, that's where the game goes downhill. After the 8 Mavericks and the 8 Robot Masters, the game just goes downhill. So, because if I haven't beaten the game yet, I'll play the Fortress. But I've beaten all these games, so yeah, I stop at the Mavericks. That's the best part of the game. And generally when I think about how much I like a Mega Man game, there are, considerations like gameplay and the music, but the Mavericks and the Robot Masters and the quality and how much I like them are generally the most important thing when it comes to that. So, if I'm replaying a Mega Man game, I tend to stop before I get to Wily or Sigma because I just don't care. I don't really care to play it. And I don't know if I'm weird in that regard or Mega Man fans view the Robot Masters as more important than Wily. I mean, I understand you have to have a Wily Castle, you have to have a lead up to Sigma, because they're the thread that ties everything together, and, they're the boss, so you can't just, warp to the boss fight after you beat the 8, but, So Mega Man X, played that, conquered all 8 Mavericks, still my favorite Mega Man game. I think Mega Man X is far and away the best Mega Man X game. Puts all the other, I shouldn't say puts all the others to shame, but I think it's head and shoulders above even X2 and X3, and X4 is good, but it's no Mega Man X. But, so enjoyed some Mega Man X. And it's crazy because like the Legacy Collection came out 10 years ago now? It's 2015, I believe. So the fact that it's like that tells you how long it's been since I played those games, because after I got that Platinum Trophy, I just haven't played the X games since then. So also went back and played more Subnautica, Below Zero. Obviously, I've already got the Platinum Trophy, so I'm just kind of dicking around with the base building. I actually like doubled the size of my base. I went more vertical because I didn't have room to expand out because of some of the landscaping under the sea where I chose to build my base in the safe shallows. So I had to build up. But yeah, one of the things that kind of drew me back was, besides the fact that I didn't really have anything else to play, is one of the cool things you can do in Subnautica is you have alien containment units, and you can build those and then put eggs of the various creatures in there, and you can collect them. And like, you know, they're not the most like common thing. They're not like titanium or copper, so you know you actually kind of have to look for them in specific spots. But you can put the eggs in there and then hatch them, and then you can kind of have, you know, these creatures as kind of like your pets, the brute sharks and the sea monkeys and all that. And I had found most of the eggs my first, you know, playthrough of Subnautica 2 or Subnautica Below Zero. Subnautica 2 is not out yet. But there was a few I missed, like one of my favorite Leviathans, the glow whale. They have eggs in the game. And then also the squid sharks and just some of the, what was the other? Oh, the penguin. So like I just went back and found some of the eggs, and pretty much I found all the eggs and all the creatures, and I have them in these little containment units. And I've just been expanding those so they have more room to swim around and, you know, put other creatures in there so they have friends to hang out with during the day. Put all the herbivores together, put all the carnivores together. But I mean, if you put herbivores and carnivores together in the aquariums, they don't eat each other. They just leave each other alone. But yeah, like my favorite part of Subnautica is the base building and just fucking around with that. Like that is by far the most time I've spent in this game. So hopefully for future Subnautica games, they put more effort into like items you can put into your base, because like I've kind of got like I've got like a bathroom, I've got a bedroom, I've got, you know, 2 rooms for aquarium units, I've got my moon pool, I've got 2 rooms for greenhouses. So I mean, like honestly, I've got 2 observatories, like glass dome observatories, where I can just sit on a bench and look out into the sea, just go complete dead eyes and just kind of lose myself in it. So I kind of built everything. But if they had more options for stuff, I feel like I could get even more playtime out of this. So more options for base building is what I would like to see. Lastly, the raids in Ghost of Yotei have dropped. And initially they didn't launch with matchmaking. You had to like go onto Discord or Reddit and find a group of people and add them on, you know, PlayStation to be able to get a group to do the raids. And I guess they did that because it's a very cooperative effort. Like it when they say it helps to, you know, have chat going and talking to people, it absolutely does. But matchmaking is now a thing, so you can match with randoms. And you know, it's not just like these raids aren't just like fighting. It's basically you go through the level or the location, and then at the end you fight a boss, either the dragon or Saito, and they're hard as fuck. And it warns you there's only one difficulty, and that difficulty is Nightmare. Now you can also fight them on Hellish, but Nightmare is the base setting. So that'll tell you how difficult it is. And like, there's like puzzles, like switch puzzles, where you to progress you have to stand on certain switches. You'll have to have like 3 players stand on switches so another one can reach a new area, and then stand on one switch so that all the players can then reach that new area. So there's all these cooperative elements to it, even to the boss fights. Like there are certain attacks, like the dragon will shoot out at different intervals. Once you get to a certain health amounts, he'll shoot out large explosives in the arena. And the first time the explosives come out, there's a very small area that's safe where you won't die in one hit if you stand there. The second time those come out, you will have to run to one of these giant explosives and hit it until its HP is gone to create a safe area so it disappears, so you don't get blown up by all the others. So, like, obviously if 2 people run to one explosive and 2 people run to another, and I know the idea of hitting explosives sounds ridiculous, but it's what you gotta do. If 2 run to one, 2 run to the other, you're fucked, because it's gonna explode and kill you all. So there is a good amount of cooperation in it, so yes, having headsets and talking does help. The thing about these, though, I want to say there's a sense of accomplishment because they are difficult. The problem is, the sense of accomplishment is more like, instead of like, oh yeah, I triumphed, that was fucking great, that was awesome. It's more like, yes, I fucking triumphed. Thank God I've never got to do that shit again. The raids are not really for me because there is a difficulty spike with the boss fights that I think is just kind of crazy because, like, the first time going through with a random group of people, we all had headsets. We were fighting. We were going through the dragon's level. We got to the dragon, like within like our first try to get through the level to get to him, and they do checkpoint you. So even if you die, then you don't have to start the level again. You just start at the checkpoint, and there's a checkpoint for the boss, which is very nice. But I would say it maybe took us a half an hour to get to the boss, and after that it was like an hour and a half, 2 hours just to beat the fucking boss. And so, to me, the difficulty spike for the bosses is a little crazy, and I kind of wish they would tamp that down a little, because the bosses, it's not like they have impossibly hard attacks. They just throw the kitchen fucking sink at you. They throw everything at you to where if you make a single slip up, if you fuck up even a bit, like 1 degree, you're fucked. So I do wish that the difficulty was a little less for the boss fights. I mean, eventually we got them done, but the idea that people just have hours and hours to sit there, like coordinate, you have to have 4 people to do these. So the idea that you just have like 2, 3 or more hours to do these when people have like, you know, even if you don't have kids, you may have pets. You know, you gotta coordinate, like, people may need to go get food. They may need to go, like, stop in the middle. Like, people have jobs. So if you're doing it at night, you may run over into bedtimes. It's kind of crazy. Like, it annoys me because I feel like at a point, it doesn't respect your time. Now, the one thing that does go against that is that you can skip straight to the bosses. There's an option to do the raids themselves, or you can just go to the boss and fight the boss. And you can still get the gold trophy for just fighting the boss. That will still, unlock for you, just if you're wondering. But yeah, I mean, that does save you some time, but again, the bosses are difficult, so like having a group of 4 people that are just willing and able to sit there for maybe a couple hours to get this done, it is kind of asking a lot. And again, you do have to rely on other people, which can really suck. Now, I had good experiences with the people I played with online, but I mean, it can kind of suck. So, I mean, overall, I don't mind difficult, but this difficulty just felt like difficult for the sake of being hard and not skill-based. You know, I mean, you learn through trial and error, and there's that one time out of 100 you actually completed, but to me, there is just a serious difficulty spike that they need to relook at. They need to look out again. Although I do appreciate the fact that you can go straight to the boss, which does save you some time. Because, yeah, it's not... To me, it's... I do appreciate that it's a very different mode and type of gameplay style from everything else they've released for the single player and the story and the survival. But if someone said to me, like, if someone asked for my help to do these because I've already done them, like, I'm okay, fine, I'll help you out. But if someone's like, hey, you know, I just want to have some fun playing with some homies, let's get on chat and talk and let's just do something fun. If someone's like, hey, let's do survival or let's do some of the story missions, I'd be like, hell yeah, that'd be a good time just chatting with some buddies and playing Ghost of Yotei. But I wouldn't suggest doing the raids because they're fun. Because they're not fun. It's just, So, you know, I know people out there like difficult things. I know people like to, you know, play all kinds of hard games for a sense of accomplishment. To me, I just don't get the same. And like I said, it's at moments during these fights, it just feels like it's difficult because your margin of error is so fucking slim. And regardless of how good you are at getting to a certain point, it can just nuke your entire experience with one slip up. So even if one of your party members dies and there's a certain set of attacks coming, you can't revive them. You're fucked. So you got to start all over again at the beginning of the boss. So it just becomes a loop that gets a little annoying. But I know you both have Ghost of Yotei. Are either one of you going to try the raids at all?
I started one of them.
Well, you probably had to start the
Not the
dragon
ra-
because the Saito one doesn't unlock until you beat dragon.
No. I'm sorry. I didn't do the raids. I think I did the story missions. I did the first one, and my partner really sucked, and I had to keep picking him up. So I didn't go past that.
I mean, you could have.
I also did it while I was at work.
You could have asked me to help, but
well, it was 2:00 in the morning, and I was at work, so I wasn't gonna wake you up to say, "Hey, hop on Ghost of Yotei."
Well, I'm just saying. So that I'm assuming that's a no for you, Tricky. You're not going to go for that.
I will, but I've been very, very much into the games I've been playing lately.
which we will get to. Before that, though, we gotta get Matt's thoughts. Matt, have you heard anything about the raids? Have you tried them, or do you plan on trying them at any point?
Well, I mean, the issue is I'd need to buy into PlayStation Plus to be able to do them. And I may do that soon because there's a game I've been playing that is co-op, and I may want to do that with somebody from Channel 3. So I may have to bite the bullet here sometime soon, maybe do a month. At that point, I may take an opportunity to jump in with the raids.
No, I mean, because obviously this game has been announced that it's not coming to PC. So if you're going to play it, you have to, if you're going to do Legends, you have to have PlayStation Plus. So
yeah.
All right, yeah, that's just my thoughts. Some old games, just playing for the pure joy of it and getting through the raids. I did beat the raids, so I do have my gold trophy. So I do now have 100% Ghost of Yotei, which I was not able to accomplish in Tsushima. In Ghost of Tsushima, I was not able to finish the raids, so I'm still missing that gold trophy. I believe it's called Transcendence. But yeah, I real happy to get that one out of the way. So now with Soros coming up here within a week, on the 28th, I believe, I'm all jacked and ready for that. So got to go out there and do my best to support Housemarque.
You better. Otherwise, Sony might shut them down.
The way Sony is doing things, like who knows? But also, I just talk about the raids being hard as shit, and we all know that Returnal was very hard. Soros being the same style of game, to the point where they actually had to kind of nerf the difficulty. I can't remember if they what exactly they did. If they made it less difficult, or if they allowed you to save scum it for the cloud. Somehow it became easier over time to beat Returnal. So, the Soros does look good.
Wasn't that the concept of Returnal? Is like the more you die, the stronger you get?
I mean, yeah, but it's a bullet hell third-person shooter, and them giving up on their arcade-style games, but still somehow incorporating that in a AAA production or a third-person game. But I mean, it's still a very difficult game.
All right, Matt, what have you been playing, sir?
Pretty much the same 4 games. I mean, I'm interested in Pragmata, and I downloaded the demo and I went through it. The demo takes all of like 20 minutes, if that. I think my actual time was 14 or something. So I'm very interested in that game. Capcom, once again, knocking it out of the park. Did a bunch more of Monster Hunter Stories 3. I continue to gather eggs and try to increase the rank of monsters I can find in the wild. And that takes a lot of eggs and a lot of working around in a specific area. So I've just been playing a lot of that. A lot more Crimson Desert. I beat one of the first bosses, the Reed Devil. You guys will appreciate this because I started doing more skills into special moves. I can now do clotheslines, suplexes. I think I could do an RKO. It's got a lot of wrestling moves built into it. And it's nothing funnier than just like running into a group of guys, pressing some buttons and just clotheslining them, and then grabbing another RKO, then taking the sword out and going further. Then I also played more Slay the Spire 2. My friends and I actually got to the point where they pretty much carried me, but we got through all 3 acts that you can get through right now. The game has been in the news a little bit lately because, again, it's an early access game, so therefore they continue to make balances and reworks, and a lot of people, especially overseas, are unhappy, but I'm still having a blast with the game. And then more Mugenics. I've been going through just trying to figure out basically part of the game. What you have to do is after your runs or between your runs, whatever it is, you're donating cats to NPCs around town. And those NPCs give you different benefits, whether it's more space in your house or different tips on how to build your teams. One of them gives you the ability to see your cat's baseline stats, and that plays a lot into the breeding aspect, because if you think of it like Pokemon, your cats can have base points in any number of their skills, and the highest base point you could have in any of those skills is a 7. Well, when you breed the cats, you can have the chance that those 7s go to the offspring, which means you're starting with better stats on your cats as you go out to adventure. So I got that, and I'm now starting to kind of learn more about the breeding system and what I can do to try to make a more perfect cat that I can take out on adventures and try to go further. So I ended up getting to it. So I'm in the second act of the game. I got to an area known as the crater for the first time, and I I got all the way through to the boss. And I just didn't have enough to finish off the boss. The game gets so much tougher and more drawn out as you go further into it. So I'm just going to continue plugging away, continue breeding my cats, and see what I could do from there. But again, those are pretty much the games I've been playing nonstop for the last 2-3 weeks since we last met.
And me, I've been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed. I've finished up Syndicate. Did the DLC. Not really a fan of the DLC. I think it just changed the way we played the original game a little bit too much. But now I'm deep into Assassin's Creed 3. So I'm playing that. I just got to being Connor, so I gotta do that. And obviously I've been playing a little bit of Division. Got my 2 spam plats. And that's it. I've been staring at Crimson Desert on my PS5 and just haven't wanted to play it. There's been some updates to Arc Raiders that I want to get back to, but haven't had a chance to do that yet. So, but Alex, you said Syndicate wasn't your favorite. To me, so far, Assassin's Creed Syndicate is the best Assassin's Creed game they've made ever.
You've lost your damn mind. That's what you've done.
I don't. Would you say is the best one, Origins?
I mean, look, I love Origins because of, and I think it's so visually impressive and stunning that, to me, as much as I enjoyed Brotherhood, and I think Brotherhood might be the best one of all time, everything considered, because you can't expect like a 15-year-old, 10-year-old game to be as impressed. Well, going on 10 years now for Origins, you can't expect a 15, 20-year-old game to be as impressive as one that came out in 2017. That's just ludicrous. And while I am a little ludicrous from time to time, I do have my sense and reason. But, I mean, overall, just taking away the multiplayer, because I can give a shit about that, but, Brotherhood I really enjoyed, especially because it focused on one specific part of Italy, as opposed to having these sprawling cities. I mean, it had, a sprawling city, but it was more focused than the others. I appreciate Egypt for the mythology and the architecture, because I just love ancient Egyptian culture, or it's just it's always drawn me in. But I mean, I know a lot of people would say 2, and a lot of people really enjoy 2, which I mean, I get, Italy, very famous set pieces, obviously, and bringing those cities to life was very impressive. So. But to me, I don't know, man. The steampunk one set in the Victorian era, I didn't like the twins as much as main characters. I think Ezio or even Altair are stronger main characters. And don't get me wrong, the first Assassin's Creed was a very big disappointment. But Altair and Ezio, I think, were better main characters than.
I don't think the first one was a disappointment. I think it was just too repetitive, and they changed it up with 2, which made
a disappointment.
The series a lot better.
It's a disappointment. You would expected more. We all got hyped as shit for that game, and on some aspects it delivered. But I would say the repetitive gameplay is a disappointment because you come in expecting more.
I mean, it's fair. I just wouldn't classify it as a disappointment, but I get what you're saying.
I think a lot of times when you're talking about a game you really enjoy, or your favorite game, whether it be The Legend of Zelda, whether it be Mega Man, or whether it be Assassin's Creed, I think the first one you play or your entry point to a series means a lot. More so than a lot of things. There can be varied factors, but I think that the first game you play in a series can very much sway your opinion of that series to the point where it's, that's your favorite game. So is Syndicate a bad game? No. I just wasn't as enamored with the time period, and if Victorian London was your favorite time period, then I could see you being I really enjoyed this. But to me, the twins, the Fry twins, I did not like them as much as the other protagonists, And honestly, I mean, I can't remember the other the other quibbles I had with the game, but it just wasn't my favorite. Not a bad game, but I would put Brotherhood 2 and Origins above that game as, definitely my favorites. So, but to be fair, it's definitely better than, say, something like Rogue, which again is not a terrible game. It's just coming off the heels of Black Flag. It just kind of felt like the ship battles being incorporated into that, and I don't know. It just felt like it didn't need to exist. So, but
I think if I remember correctly, Rogue came out the same time as Black Flag because Black Flag came out on the 4 and Rogue came out on the 3.
I'm pretty sure that Rogue came out with Unity because it came out.
We had this conversation. We had this conversation before. You're right.
It came out alongside another game, and yeah. So yeah, I'm interested because you and I were texting a little bit about this. The DLC, the Jack the Ripper DLC. Obviously, Jack the Ripper has huge influence on London, and you were telling me that you just weren't feeling it.
It's not that I wasn't really feeling it. I just think that the whole scare aspect kind of took it away. And also, I went back to an old save file. So actually, I started the DLC on its second mission. So I missed the opening. But to me, the characters look differently. Evie didn't look the same in the DLC she did in the rest of the game. And I'm assuming it's just because time has passed and whatnot. Because without spoiling the story, it's clear that some time has passed.
Well, I mean, Tricky, you can maybe Syndicate's one of these games that people passed over and didn't play before and might go back and play at some point, but that game came out so long ago. I don't really think you have to be so story spoiler avoidant. It's just if you.
Well, I'm as far as the main story, I don't want to spoil that, but the DLC, I think not a lot of people went back to, and some people might go back to it. So I'm just aired on the side of caution with that. That's all. But yeah, as I said, right now I'm going through 3 again. I'm actually looking on PSN profiles right now because there's 33 games in the series. Now that's including different platforms. There's 2 different versions of Brotherhood on the 3 and the 4, Revelations 3 and the 4, 3 and the 4, stuff like that. So, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna try to platinum every game in the series.
That's a tall task. I will remind you that our friend Nitro played 3 of them in a year, I think it was, and one of them being Valhalla, and he was not a fan of that. He did not recommend that. 0 out of 10 on Yelp would not recommend.
Well, Valhalla, from what I understand, takes 100 hours to plat. So
yeah, fuck that. No. At that point, and everyone's different. So somebody I'm sure there are people out there who disagree with me. But if you get to 100 hours for a platinum fucking trophy, no, thank you. If I get to 100 hours in a game, it's because I'm fucking around in Subnautica or I'm playing Helldivers. It's a game that I just enjoy playing. But 100 hours to a platinum is nuts.
All right, Alex, you're going in and out, so I don't know if you're going away from your mic or your internet's kicking out, but you keep going in and out. So
I mean, I could be. The waveforms are coming up, so I should be good. But I don't know. I'm getting real heated here. I'm being able to spew my opinions for the first time in a couple of weeks. So maybe I am jostling back and forth away from the mic. Who knows? We'll see.
All right. With that being said, Matt, I'm going to throw it over to you for.
Wait, did you say your latest platinum?
Oh, Syndicate.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I got the platinum Syndicate. I did all those. Got the DLC trophies. So
wait, is 3 the next one you're going to platinum?
3 is the one I'm playing now. And 3 is the only Assassin's Creed game that I have not beaten in any form. So that's why I went to 3. Because I was talking with Dex, and he's going through 4. Because I put it on Facebook, and I know, Alex, you didn't see it because you're not on Facebook. But I put on Facebook, should I play 3 or 4? And immediately Yo chimed in saying, I got to get a crew for the DLC trophies. Dex says he did a single player on for Black Flag, so I may give that a shot. So,
I don't know if you're going to do 4, which is Black Flag, just wait for the remake.
That's also the other thing I'm going to do. So I might wait for that, but I'm also 87% of the trophies in Black Flag, so I may go back and just get that platinum and then play it again when it comes out on the 5.
Real quick, before we go to Matt, which Assassin's Creed games have you not platinum? Or which ones have you platinum, whichever would be a shorter list?
Well, I've platinum 2 on the 3 and the 4. I've gotten the platinum in Unity, Syndicate, Origins, and Odyssey, and that's all my platinums.
So you may not be able to get them all unless they re-release a certain game. Brotherhood, I think the servers are down for the multiplayer, and you have to have the multiplayer trophies for the platinum, so you may not be able to get that one.
Unless I already have those multiplayer trophies.
That's true, but as someone who played that game and loved it and played some of the multiplayer trying to get the trophies, my guess would be no, but you could always surprise us, Tricky, and, pull an ace out of your sleeve.
I'm looking through the Brotherhood trophies right now, and I don't see any multiplayer ones.
They're there. They're definitely there.
Okay. I believe you. I'm looking through it real quick. Server shutdown. Let's see. Well, Matt, go to the news.
Hey, Matt.
And
Matt's already talked about his games. Yeah, Matt, news. Hit us with it.
Hey, got some news articles for you. Tricky, my condolences, because the first article comes from Push Square. Sony delists hundreds more crappy PS5, PS4 games, including Jesus Simulator, with the tagline, "Wonder if it'll rise again." So basically, it's just saying how Sony's becoming more stringent on poor quality software on the PS Store. Thousands of cash grab games this year alone have been delisted. News first emerged on PSN profiles, and that some of the games removed include Jesus Simulator, Watermelon Fruits Puzzle, and Card Shop Game Store TCG Simulator. And it's interesting because Card Shop Game Store TCG Simulator is very similar to TCG Store Simulator, which I've been playing on PC. So this may have just been a bad clone, but it was going for sale on $10 on PSN. So Tricky, what are you going to do? I know you're still searching. Alex, how do you feel about this news that Tricky won't get these cheap platinums anymore?
I do want to point out that Bum Simulator is still on the PlayStation Network. So those simulator games are, I don't want to say a plague, because like some of them, I'm sure that like it's calming, and people can just kind of space out and play them. So I'm not going to sit here and act like all the simulator games are ridiculous, but there are some that are, Bum Simulator. Like some of them are weird and probably don't need to exist. But I love the fact that we get this news of all these games being wiped off the PlayStation Store, but yet Tricky can still every week find a new food item to jump in, like the jumping chicken tenders or the jumping Red Baron frozen pizza or the jumping Peeps or some ridiculous shit, whatever he's playing this week. So, yeah, I mean, Sony, dude, keep delisting them, Sony. Like, get this crap out of here. Because as the PlayStation Store, like, gets bigger and bigger and there's more and more games on there, like, there's so many times, and I'm not saying it's just because of like these shitty games, but going through a sale, like just the PlayStation Store sales, a lot of times I'm trying to go through the entire list and I just fucking give up because it's so long. I'm like, okay, well, hopefully there's not some gem down towards the bottom that I don't see, but if you can get rid of these shitty games, do it, please. There's nothing bad about getting rid of these games. The only people who are going to complain are the ones who want to sit there and spend a minute jumping a food item for a platinum trophy. So, go Sony. This crusade, keep going.
Boo.
Well, Tricky, how do you feel about this?
I really don't care. I'm done buying spam games. The games that I'm platinum, and now I bought during my year of no spam with Daryl, so I'm just going back and cleaning them up. And I'm taking my time with them because it just gives me bonus points. It gives me 10 bonus points every week. So I really don't care. So listen, I've been an advocate on some of these games, like saying, yes, they're very, very cheap plats, but somebody somewhere found a niche to say, hey, I can sell this game for 99 cents and make a few dollars, and you're exploiting the community of trophy hunters. I really don't have a problem with it. If that's what you were doing. If Sony has a problem with it, I understand why they have a problem with it. I'm not going to say anything against it. If they want to remove them, remove them. But all the ones I have like 500 spam plats that are just sitting on my hard drive waiting for me to platinum. So you want to remove them. But I really don't see a problem with them other than people complain that, they're cheap plats. So that's it. I could care less.
Well,
I will honestly.
If you, sorry, if you could care less, that means you do care.
I couldn't care less.
There you go. Listen to the. Go ahead, Alex.
The pet peeves, Matt. Your pet peeves.
What about my pet peeves?
Oh, that I thought you were going to say that was one of your pet peeves.
No. If you listen to the Weird Al song, crap. No, I can't remember the name.
Grapefruit Diet.
No. It was a cover of. Crap. What the hell was that? Wow, I am really off it. He made a song about bad grammar, and that was one of the points he sings about in the song. So just pointing that out.
And Alex, if you're interested, because I'm looking at your Mega Man trophies, you don't have Mega Man 10. I think that's a crime.
I don't have Mega Man 9 either. I played both those games on the Wii. Because have you seen those trophy lists? Have you?
Well, you could get the Legacy Collection for $8 right now, and you also don't have the X2 collection either.
Well, first of all, I don't think any self-respecting Mega Man fan would buy the Legacy X2 collection. You know what's on that shit? Like the Mega Man Legacy Collection 2, I could understand that because it's got 9 and 10 on there, and 7 people kind of talk about it in a very positive light. 8, you're getting a little dicier, but the Mega Man X Legacy Collection 2. I'm sorry. That shit sucks. It just sucks. You get X5, X6, X7, and X8. Terrible.
Right now, you could get the Mega Man X Legacy Collection 2 for $20, but you can get it in the bundle with the first game for $15, $19, and you can get the Legacy Collection for $8 right now.
Every now and again, from time to time, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I will finally play X7 and X8, because I've already played and beaten X6 and X5. X5 was apparently where KJ Inafune thought they should end the series, but nope, we got X6, X7, and X8, and but then when I get like that thought in my head, I remember everyone who's talked about how much they hate Mega Man X7. X8 was a little bit better. People do speak about that with some praise, but I remember how bad X6 was, and I'm like, man, I just can't. Like the best 4 Mega Man X games are on the first collection, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and the worst ones are on the second collection. Like I realize you have to split up that way because it makes sense, but I guarantee the sales of the second one were far less than the first one.
Well, and you also don't have the Platinum in Mega Man 11. Disappointed in you, sir.
That's because some of that... There's a speedrun trophy, man. Are you fucking... Like, have you ever watched people speedrun some of this shit? Like, Capcom gets it. Capcom isn't just nuts with the Resident Evil Platinums, and I understand the Resident Evil Requiem Platinum is seemingly far easier than some of the other ones they have, but with the Mega Man ones, they just get nuts. Like, it's just... No. Like, as much as I enjoy Mega Man and as many of those games as I've beaten as I do consider myself good at Mega Man... I just can't do some of that shit. And being 41 is not the age to test that out in.
All right, man, I'm just going to assume he stopped talking. You go on.
All right.
Alex, I love you. If you're talking, I'm sorry, but you keep cutting it out, so we don't know if you're done talking or not.
Maybe it's your internet, Tricky. Have you ever thought about that?
Nah, it's
Alex,
happening over on my end too, buddy.
Well, you live in the same area of the goddamn states, my man.
My internet's a lot better than his.
we
He just
established
dissed you, G. He said your internet's shit.
No. We established that because apparently I only have 10 megabytes up.
Yeah, it's pretty pathetic.
So,
Alrighty. So next article comes from GamesIndustry.biz, written by not gonna work here anymore. Alex Forbes Calvin.
Oh, Office Space. Glorious.
Yeah, I love that. So basically, Indie.io, the owner, Jess Mitchell, says that a Game Pass for indie games is coming out. Meet Indie Pass, $7 a month subscription service launching with 70 titles. So we all kind of know how we feel about Game Pass and things like that. But when it comes to indie games, it's tough to say what sort of exposure they get. Now, we see a lot of indie games drop on Xbox Game Pass. But, the concern is indies are already struggling where it is. So are they going to suffer from this? And Mitchell says that they're confident Indie Pass will not damage a game's sales performance. And every model is a little bit different. Obviously, Game Pass offers a much more expansive option for players, is what Mitchell said. But when it comes to indie games, any exposure is good. And $7 a month, I think, for 70 games gives you a wide variety of the ability to see what's out there. And hopefully that those games exposure contribute to sales. I am concerned because indies are the last ones that we want to impact their sales, but it seems they have to sign up for it. It's not like they can say, like Indie.io can say, hey, you're on Game Pass now. So I don't know. Indies, I think, are some of the most ambitious, well thought out games out there, because indie devs kind of have to be more ingenious or intuitive in their game design. But I don't know. Not that you guys do a lot of the PC side of the stuff, but what do you think about a Game Pass model specifically for indie devs to maybe get them exposure?
I'm kind of on the same thing with you. Is like indie games already are cheap enough to buy as they are, and you put them on a subscription service. I start to worry if this is actually going to hurt the indies, because they're not going to make the money they need to sustain themselves. Yeah, that's my biggest worry with this. I mean, great, it's good that they'll get more exposure, but on the flip side, like, is it going to turn around going, why am I going to go buy an indie game for $15 when I can play it for $7?
Now, there is something to say that indie games in some cases tend to focus on like repetitive or roguelike elements, something you can't just beat in a month. So maybe that'll be beneficial to some of them. But I don't know, Alex, how many indies do you play? Like, would you be willing to sign up for an indie pass?
I mean, potentially, yeah. I think I am more of a fan of indie games than, I'm not going to say Matt, but I think definitely Yield and Tricky. I play more indie games than they do, or I'm more willing to try them and, go through them. But kind of now it's like, it's very reliant on PlayStation Plus and what we get for the free monthly games. And, with Indie Pass, with Game Pass and Indie Pass, it's kind of like all around, like there's the idea that you're reducing risk, right? You're lowering the bar to entry, but it's kind of different for each one, because Game Pass is about, the big draw is saving money on really expensive games, specifically the Xbox first party exclusives, which we know is that system is changing. But for the longest time, it's like, hey, you now don't have to pay this $70 something to play this game. You pay your subscription fee and you get to play this game day one like everybody else. Whereas with indie games, like you said, it's all about exposure. It's getting them out there and getting them in the hands of more people, because they don't have the marketing budgets. They don't have, the necessarily on these digital shops, the advertising space. You don't see TV commercials about him. You don't see him on the front page generally of like the PlayStation Store. So the ability to have them like an indie pass where you basically pay one low fee and then you get, a la carte to try them all. It's all about getting them in the hands of more people. So it's less about the cost of the games and more about just getting them into the hands of people. So.
Okay. It's an indie IO, people tend to go there looking for indie games. It's not like it's a traditional storefront, but when you consider the capabilities of saying, well, you pay this $7, you get access to all these in case you want to try them out. Again, I tend to look at this Game Pass stuff as more as rental than, purchasing games. So maybe this will get them some exposure and hopefully launch some otherwise, unknown devs and see what's out there. But I wish them luck. I might look into it and give it a try, maybe a month or two, just to see what's out there. Because like you said, I do enjoy indie games because they offer some experiences that maybe you're not getting from AAA or even AA's these days.
You see a lot of risk or more creative ideas in indie games, but because they don't have the massive budgets. And I'm not saying there's not a risk for the developers, but you don't have the massive budgets where you see Ubisoft and EA and all these companies be like, well, we got to hit sequels because we can't fail or we'll have to shut down a studio like Sony. But I do want to counteract one of Tricky's points where he talked about one of his concerns is, or one of the points he made was that he thinks that if you have the ability to pay a subscription fee to get access to these games, that the developers may not be getting paid or make enough money off the games like they should, to the point where I would say, if people don't know your game is out there, you don't make money anyway. So this at least gets you out there to,
Well, that's why I said it does help with the exposure. But on the flip side, you're getting the exposure, but you're also getting the exposure going, hey, this game's on a subscription service. You're not getting the exposure of like, hey, go pay $15 for this game. You're getting the exposure of, hey, you can play this game for $7. That's what I meant.
Well, again, it's always the idea that you think you're paying this and you're getting the games and you think, well, I already bought it. I'm not buying it again. Well, no, you're renting it. This is no different than me going to Blockbuster, paying their rental fee and then taking something home and being like, do I want to buy this or am I going to be able to beat it within the rental period? So I still think, what was that?
You just showed your age.
Yeah, I said Blockbuster. We're old. It was a service back in the day, kiddos, where you got to go into a store and rent a game and bring it home. Yeah,
but you never got the manuals because they weren't allowed to.
No, but some of the best days were going in and renting like a Genesis or a Super Nintendo, bringing that big ass case home and setting it up. Man, that was fun. All right. So, yeah, just take a look, folks. If you're interested in indie games, Indie IO will have that service out. Next article, because Sony doesn't know what the fuck to do with money, coming from SonyInteractive.com. Sony Interactive Entertainment acquires Cinemersive Labs, basically saying that Cinemersive Labs, which was founded in 2022, brings together a specialized team with deep expertise in computer vision and machine learning, otherwise known as AI, folks. So this is setting off all sorts of red flags and warning lights in my head. After they just shut down yet another studio, and now they're going out there acquiring a UK-based machine learning company? The fuck?
Well, that's why they shut down the studio, so they could buy this.
Ugh. I think I literally put into our chat, step 1, shut down studios. Step 2, obtain Cinemersive Labs. Step 3, ? Step 4, profit.
I think that's what you put, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know.
Basically, what you're saying is the thing that everyone fears about the use of AI, the growing use of AI in video games and other media, is that it will be used to cut corners and replace actual workers. And Sony seems to be at the forefront of closing down development studios, and then they invest in this or buy this. Like, yeah, seems like a Sony jumping on the bandwagon. Nothing to fear here. Nothing to see here. Move along.
Literally shutting down a studio and then like, why do you shut down a studio? Because you're trying to save money, and then you go spend money elsewhere because I guess the returns will be there at some point.
Well, I mean, if you invest in computer learning or whatever, however they phrase it, you don't have to give the computers healthcare. You know, it's and other various things that, you know, workers get. I don't know, man. Like, what the fuck is Sony doing? Sony gonna Sony. You know, if you're gonna fire all these people, you could at least make the next PlayStation fucking affordable.
Yeah, well,
$1,000 is affordable.
What?
$1,000 is affordable.
Oh yeah, it's affordable if you'll go get 2 jobs to buy a PlayStation.
I only have one. I can afford it.
You also could retire next year, Tricky. So your job is not necessarily everybody else's job.
I mean, I do take that into account, yes. This means when I retire, I can come visit you and annoy you at your house.
You sure you don't want a job?
Are you saying that you don't want to meet me and hang out with me for a week?
I didn't say I didn't want to meet you and hang out with you, but I don't need you, you know, I don't need this to be some kind of TV sitcom where you're like coming over every single day, like, you know, trying to.
No, what do you mean come over every single day? I'm just going to live on your couch.
Oh, okay, that sounds much better.
Matt doesn't have a problem with me sleeping on his couch for a week.
The fuck I don't. This is a non-smoking household, Tricky.
I don't smoke. I quit smoking 2 months ago.
Let's hope it's 6 this time, folks.
Let's okay. All right.
To be fair, I don't think my mom will pass away again.
Not touching that with a 10-foot pole. However,
yeah, I mean, how are we supposed to fucking respond to that?
Also,
thank goodness.
Also, not being touched with a 10-foot pole. You remember how Sony cut The Last of Us Online? Well, a dev came out there and spoke to Kotaku and said, "Well, the game was around 80% complete before its quote soul-crushing cancellation." And I think Alex came out there and said, "Yeah, well, you don't cancel good games." I don't know.
There's been shut his whore mouth.
There's been plenty of good games that we think were coming out that should have been canceled, but yeah, I don't know.
1313.
I'm still sore about that one. Tricky, how you feel? Well, even more about Star Wars 1313, but the Mandalorian game that they were going to be making.
Listen, we knew this game was very close to being released when it got canceled. In a way, I'm kind of happy it got canceled because I didn't want a multiplayer Last of Us game, but I also, there's a big part of me that wanted to play this. And I'm upset it got canceled. I don't know. I mean, we knew it was far along, but, now somebody's putting a number to it.
Yeah, 80% is still a ways away from actually being released. That's still a lot of time and money.
Could have just been tweaking and shit. You have to understand. Probably the mechanics and the visuals and all that stuff was set. This was just tweaking it to balance it, because a big part of multiplayer games is obviously is the balance. Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat wasn't balanced, it'd be a mess of a game.
If they thought there were enough people that wanted to play a multiplayer Last of Us game without a single player attached to it, why not make just new maps, like a standalone experience, new maps, new objectives, all that kind of stuff, or just re-release, the latest version of The Last of Us multiplayer with some new bells and whistles, and just charge like $30 fucking dollars. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised, and I can go on the record with this. I would not be surprised if this somehow makes a comeback as part of The Last of Us 3.
I mean, there may be. Well, we don't even know if that's we don't even know if that's happening.
Last of Us 3 is happening.
What their next project, Interstellar. Like, how far are we out on that game?
Well, you mean Intergalactic?
Oh, Intergalactic. Sorry, but how?
But
how far are we?
You know damn well we're getting The Last of Us 3, and we're definitely getting an Uncharted 5.
Not if Neil Druckmann leaves.
Those games are going.
You think if Neil Druckmann could fucking up and leave.
He could, but he's not going to.
And even if they were to do
Neil Druckmann leaves Naughty Dog.
The Last of Us after Intergalactic, like, how long do you have to wait for that game?
I think it's probably right now. I think Uncharted 5 or The Last of Us 3 is in production already.
With the cost, with how long it takes to make games now, if they were going to capitalize on the success of The Last of Us, especially with the TV show going on, that would have been the thing they would have moved to next. I don't think they're doing The Last of Us 3. I think doing Intergalactic, which, as we've seen, Naughty Dog made a bunch of games for a certain generation, and then they moved on, and they just... I guess maybe Uncharted 4 is one that would buck that trend, but generally when they move on, they move on. Like, I don't think, again, the amount of time it takes to make a game now, their ability to take advantage of The Last of Us has come and gone. Like, would I like to see Last of Us 3? Yeah. But I think the move to Intergalactic is a sign that they're not doing it. We assume they will. I don't know if they will.
I'm willing to put money on that. At least we're going to get 3, because the way 2 ended, it was just...
Oh, it sucked. Like, the ending was just like, well, there's got to be more. But,
right.
Again, like, some of these devs, like, just because the story we got isn't the one we wanted doesn't mean they're not done telling their story. Because I may have said this on the show before, but I don't want to play as... If they have moved on from Ellie, I don't want to play as that other character. Like, if they're like, oh yeah, The Last of Us 3 with this character, I'm like, well, fuck that. I'm not playing that. I don't know. When did The Last of Us 2 come out? The Last of Us Part 2. Tricky, I feel like you should know.
I want to say it was 7 years ago. Last of Us 2. Hold on. I'm looking right now.
2020.
It came out in 2020. Yeah, June 19, 2020.
So we're going on 6 years. And I would not be surprised if... I mean, it'll at least be next year when we get Intergalactic. I wouldn't surprise me if we have to go to 2028 for it, but... You're telling me we could potentially have to wait till 2030 to get the next Last of Us game? Or 2031? I don't know, Tricky. Is there a chance? Sure. But my gut tells me we're not getting that game. The ending we got is the ending we got. Like, the kind of... I don't want to spoil anything, but like the letting go of the hatred and Ellie ending the way she did and the making the decision the way she did toward that one person, to me is a sign that it's just kind of like the character growth and the catharsis, like all that happened is like, that's the end, whether we like it or not. Because if I'm a developer, and granted, I'm not a developer, and everybody's different, but if I had a hot story, and if I had an idea for 3, I would want to get it out as soon as fucking possible. I wouldn't want to sit on it, go to another game, and then come back to it. I don't know, boomerang back to it. I don't know. To me, I hate to burst the bubble, and I could be wrong, but I just think we're not going to get 3 like everyone thinks we are.
I mean, to add to your point here, I mean, it's been heavily rumored that Naughty Dog's unannounced game is Uncharted 5, so.
I mean,
Hey.
can we move on from that?
Yes. All right. Let's
No, I'm
go to the
not
next
just saying
article.
the topic. I'm saying from Uncharted, and that's coming from an Uncharted fan.
Let's talk about.
Like I don't know. It just feels.
All right,
It feels
let's
like
move on.
its place is done, and we move on. And yeah,
Alrighty. So moving on to the next article, yes, we are talking about PC centric stuff because for the first time, a 2026 game that has de novo anti-tamper DRM has been cracked, and that game is Resident Evil Requiem. This happened shortly after about a month that they did Doom: The Dark Ages, which was a 2025 game that they were able to finally crack it. But this means that a game released less than a month ago, or I should say a little over a month ago now, was fully cracked. So you always know that the seesaw of pirates and DRM are always going back and forth, but this is probably the quickest that a de novo game has ever been cracked. And that's a concern for the company because, generally de novo's been the go-to anti-piracy software that a lot of people don't like because it kind of is intrusive on PCs and how far down in the system it goes to protect said games. Well, the fact that a game a little over a month ago released and has now been broken into means de novo has to figure out a whole new strategy for their system. So I don't know, Tricky, Alex, you guys really don't deal a lot with worrying about piracy on the PC or on the PS5 world. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, it's also worth noting that I just looked it up, and apparently they cracked Pragmata a day before it released. So it's now 2 games in 2026 that's been cracked by pirates.
Yeah, which again, you saw how long it took them to do a 2025 game, and the fact that these games are coming out, it's from another article I had read that de novo was cracked wide open. It wasn't just like Requiem that they got; it was the de novo system.
Right, which means they're probably gonna have to come up with a brand new system,
Or at least a new engine.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant. I'm sorry. It's I think as long as you have a PC and as long as you have open software and stuff like that, this stuff is always going to happen. Like, I get that this is news, but like this is Matt. You got to say like this is probably expected too. You kind of had to see this coming.
Yeah, but de novo has been kind of that stalwart against piracy for a while now. The fact that it was cracked this fast, it's actually kind of surprising on the PC side.
Do you think it's and I don't want to add speculate or conspiracy theories or what's that? But do you think this was an inside job?
No.
Okay.
Alex?
I don't know. I've never actually heard of the company, so I can't really speak on this.
Okay. Alex, your thoughts?
Have we ever seen a technology that can't be broken like this? That can't be cracked? Because it seems like you can stop people for a bit, but it seems like the walls always break down at some point. Like like people take it up as a challenge, and there's some really smart people out there that can take down, all these different security systems or open things up. So, I mean, I'm certainly not surprised by this, but off the top of my head, I can't name any kind of protection that has just flat out stopped pirates. I mean, Matt, can you think of anything?
Yeah, well, like I said, de novo has been the one that people have got, that companies have gone to for a while because it was so strong.
Well, and
now
obviously
it's not.
These new technologies come out and these new companies, like obviously it's necessity because, necessity is the motherhood of invention. And if pirates keep cracking codes, then you obviously have to create a new one that they supposedly can't crack. And then, that happens. And yeah, so it seems to be just kind of like the passing of time, just something you expect.
Alrighty. Sorry, Alex, you cut out again.
Well, I've got the waveform, so hopefully I'm nice and loud on my end.
Okay.
The audio would be good. The live stream I'm gonna have to do
That's all right.
finagling with.
Finagling,
All right, Tricky.
you mean just put it up as is?
No, that would be bad. We don't want bad audio on our YouTube videos.
No, we
Which are
certainly
actually
don't.
taken off lately. They've been taken off lately.
Okay.
Just like
Well,
the email,
those
they've been
are-
taken off.
Those are our news articles this week. Tricky, do we want to go to listener questions? Because I did make a post today.
Time to check my social media, yeah.
All right. So, like I said, I did make a post and I said we might actually be recording episode 711 later. So I asked, what's your favorite rest stop shop? Because for those of you who don't know, 7-Eleven is a brand of quick stops around here. So I asked Wawa, Quick Check, anything else. And then, I asked for questions from everybody, but Will was the only one that actually asked a question. So mostly what we found is Daryl, Jeremy, and Ashley said Buc-ee's. But Ashley said it was Buc-ee's when she lived in Texas before they expanded states and really turned into gas station Walmart. Now it's Thornton's because it's convenient, always clean, and creepy man ratio is generally low. And they give her good discounts. Alex, how is Thornton's?
Oh, it's not like a thing you have up there?
No.
I mean, it's fine.
No.
Like it can depend on which, because I think they're like franchised out or something like that. So I depend on where it is and, who runs the store. It can be cleaner or not clean, but generally they're clean. And, honestly, at a place like that, I usually go in to get gas. I don't really buy snacks or food from gas stations because it's not like, you're at that point in life when you're trying to watch what you eat. But really, a clean bathroom is a working bathroom. There's nothing worse, at least when it comes to gas stations or rest stops, than having to pee or go to the bathroom so bad, and then you get to the bathroom and it's out of order, and it's just like the biggest fuck you can get in that situation. So
That's when you just pee on the side of the building.
well, Tricky, that works for you, but yeah, just a clean bathroom for me. I don't really have any kind of loyalty to BP or to, any of these different other ones, Valero, whatever, Thornton's, Speedway, whatever. Cleanliness is important, but I mean, really just a bathroom with a clean bathroom is really, all that I care about.
Okay. And Will does say Circle K and ask a question, but before we get to his question, Tricky, what's your go-to quick stop?
Because Wawa doesn't really exist in New York, I would have to say 7-Eleven, but I am a Wawa fan, being from the South.
Okay. And I was always into Quick Check when I was younger because we didn't have Wawa, but now that Wawa has kind of come around, that really is my go-to. So we'll stay with that. But Will does ask a question and says, do we think Ms. Shawarma will successfully roll back the prices on Xbox Game Pass? This came from recent news. The new head of Xbox, Aisha Shawarma, said that the price of Xbox Game Pass is too expensive. Yeah, people saying things and then doing things are two very different things. So I don't think she's going to roll back the prices. Tricky, Alex?
Stockholders would never let her.
Well,
Good point, Alex.
I mean, so they have the data on how many people still connect to the service and use the service and subscribe to everything. So if the numbers are around the same, or there's a slight dip, probably not. I mean, it's one of those things I'll believe it when I see it, but it may be, it could be one of those things where it's like, well, it's too expensive, but it's not cost effective for us to bring the price down. So we won't. But that last part's, said under the breath or in parentheses, so it doesn't get out there. But generally, I wouldn't expect Sony to reduce the cost of PlayStation Plus subscriptions. So, generally these things don't go back down. Netflix, Spotify, once they're there, they're there. So I can't see Xbox or Microsoft being different.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think she's actually going to make good on any, and not that she promised anything, but like it means very little that she says, "Oh, it's too expensive." She could just be saying that just to kind of get people on her side as the new person in town, and what she expects others will do or is a completely different thing. So, yeah, I think it's she's stating the obvious, but let's see if she actually does anything, which I think most of us will say no.
Which, realistically, it also may not be her decision or her sole decision.
Alrighty. Well, thank you
I
for.
do have a question before we move on.
Go ahead.
When you go to the movie theaters, outside of popcorn, what's your go-to snack?
Reese's Pieces.
Alex?
I honestly, I don't ever want to buy. This year, actually, it's weird because I've been to the movie theaters twice in like this year, which is the most I've been in recent years in any 1 year. And we're gonna go see the He-Man movie when it comes out in the next couple months. So 3 times in a year is honestly the most I've been to a movie theater in a long time. I don't really like to go buy snacks in a movie theater. I think that everything's just so ridiculously overpriced that it turns me off completely to buying anything from there. But when I used to buy snacks at an actual movie theater and not just take them in from somewhere else, Raisinets were always a candy that I like getting in the movie theater because, you know, M&M's, Reese's Pieces, like I would get that stuff, gummy bears, whatever. Would get that stuff anywhere. But Raisinets were kind of like, I would only ever eat them at the movie theater. And I do like raisins and I do like chocolate. So it's kind of like Big Red and White Castle. I don't ever drink Big Red outside of a White Castle. Not that I eat a lot of White Castle, but it's just kind of one of those things that I'm there. And if I were to pick a snack, it would probably be, if not popcorn, probably Raisinets.
All right, because I got criticized because I told somebody it was snow caps, and they're like, I was out of my mind.
Snow caps are fine.
Snowcaps
Those came to mind for me, but yeah, it's more than likely to be a candy that I don't normally eat elsewhere or wouldn't choose to eat elsewhere.
See, but now I just go to the dollar store and pick up like pockets full of dollar store candy, and that makes my life much better.
That in.
Well, also,
What was that?
And then sneak it in.
It's not very much sneaking when it's just sitting in my cargo pants.
Luckily, gummy bears and not even M&Ms are really make all that much noise when they're jingling around, unless you're like violently shaking the M&Ms. Also, I don't like to buy drinks at a movie theater because I don't want to have to. The size of some of those drinks, one, they're expensive, but also I'm trying to watch the movie. I'm not trying to piss 20 times.
Is your bladder that weak?
I just use it as an example once, maybe twice, but when we went to see the Mario Galaxy movie, I didn't want to get up and go to the bathroom. I had to go bathroom once during the movie, but I didn't really want to get up and go because you don't know what's going to happen at any given point. You may miss something good. So I don't like to go to the bathroom.
I mean, it was the Mario movie, so you're not going to miss much.
I didn't say it was great, but I'm just saying when I go to the movies, when I went to see Armageddon way back in the day in the 90s in a movie theater, I had to, it's the one time I've done this in my life. We were getting close to the end, and like, you know, Bruce Willis is doing his speech and everything, and I held my bladder so long that my kidney started hurting. And so I just don't like to get up during movies because I don't want to miss anything. It's like, what, $17 for a movie ticket? Like, during the middle of the week? Why do I want to miss anything?
All right.
All right.
So now we get to our topic of the week.
Toe. Topic of the week. Well, fine then. Fuck you, Matt.
And to fuck you, Matt, indeed.
And twice on Sunday.
And twice on Sunday. PlayStation Blog put out an article. This has been a couple weeks ago, but we're finally getting to have our show, so I wanted to talk about it. But it's introducing the player base, bringing PlayStation's biggest fans into blockbuster PlayStation Studio games. And said starting today, fans can apply, keyword apply, for an opportunity to step into Gran Turismo 7 with additional games to be announced in the future. So basically, it's an opportunity for fans to kind of be digitized and put into the games. The community program will be available in select markets in Americas, Europe, Asia, South Africa, and Australia. For details and official rules, you can submit an application starting today, which was April 7th at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And players will also be required to sign in with their PlayStation account ID and share additional information to participate. Basically, they will select a limited number of finalists to participate in a video interview to learn more about their connection to PlayStation. From there, one PlayStation fan will be selected to be featured in Gran Turismo 7 as part of the player base. So one fan. And they will have a special limited time appearance as in-game character portrait, similar to how characters are presented throughout the game. Fucking what? All of this to be a limited time avatar, basically, in a game?
Did anybody click on the actual application?
No. Let me look at what this says.
I did right now. You have to put in your age, you have to put in your name and your email address. But here, this is what got me. In 1,000 characters or less, tell us how PlayStation has impacted your life. You could tell us about when your older sibling first handed you the controller, unwrapping your first console, staying up late for a midnight launch, why a character's arc meant something to you, the soundtrack you never stopped going back to, or something else entirely. You have to fill that out.
I just don't get this. Like, to what end?
It's a cool idea that your likeness can be in a video game, but
it's Gran Turismo.
You're gonna have
7.
a lot of
listen, what the fuck do I care about being in Gran Turismo 7?
Forget the game for a second. I'm just saying,
that makes all the difference, because nice. If it's like, hey Alex, do you want to be in Croc? Or hey Alex, do you want to be in Crash Bandicoot? Of course I'm picking the orange fucking marsupial. I'm not picking Croc. The game matters.
I'm not arguing the game. I'm saying
argument.
Oh, if you let me talk, you know what I'm saying.
Can't do it. I bottled up all this emotions for 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
All right. You can move on, Matt.
So it says, will I have to travel for the scan? Yes, Sony Interactive and its authorized representatives, including Promo Veritas Limited, will organize and cover the cost of travel and lodging for the prize. The winner will be solely responsible for ensuring that the winner and the guest have all necessary travel documents, yada, yada, yada. They said a winner will be chosen in 2026. When will the winner be seen in the game? The winner will appear in the game for a special limited time update in Gran Turismo 7 later this year. So expect a 2026 appearance. Their custom fantasy logo and one-of-a-kind vehicle livery will be added permanently to the showcase menu. All of this for what? Like, I still don't get what the player base is going to be, because if you're doing it for one winner for a game, like, what? That's not a very large player base.
So here's the thing. It could be something they're starting with Gran Turismo 7 and then it diffuses out to other games.
Well, yeah.
But
they say that other games will come up. Like, it literally has Gran Turismo 7 and then 2 boxes for question marks. I don't think they're going to limit it to 3. I also don't see this making it past 3 games. I don't see this being a resounding success. Like, to what point is this? Yeah.
Well, yeah, because this.
I think they're opening this up to possible technology in which your PlayStation camera could put you into the game. I think that's where they're starting with this.
Alex?
So the coolest thing about this is that, and the quoting straight from the PlayStation blog, They will be invited to a visual arts studio in Los Angeles for scanning day and to collaborate with a designer to create their fancy logo and vehicle livery. That's a pretty cool experience. That's the best part of this. Being in the game for a limited time, like, I don't know if it's like they're choosing to do it for a limited amount of time because they don't have to pay you more or over a certain amount of time or per game sold or however those contracts are laid out. I guess it would depend on how the contract's laid out, but to me personally, like, not even just being in the game, as like a game player, what do I care about other people that are just showing up randomly in a game? And are you even going to know that character's in the game? It's like you see someone in the pit, working on the car when it's, comes in to be, have the tires replaced or rotated or whatever. Like, do you even know that that's a person in real life? Or do you even care? I mean, granted, a lot of mocap is done with real people in real life. So, but like the winner, do you even know that's the winner? So from the standpoint of the player, the game is so very specific, the person in the game, it's so specific game-wise, and you're only in there for a limited amount of time, so do you care a ton? But also as the player base, like, I don't know if you all have seen this in grocery stores around you all, but in some of the places I've shopped, they will have like biographies and the photo and the name of the people who run different departments in a grocery store, or like the store manager. I guess the store manager is more important to know if you have an issue, but they'll have like little bios of people who work there. And I'm like, why do I give a fuck? Like, as long as I can come buy my shit, why do I care about Harold Dean who orders all the fucking meat product? Like, who orders all the Oscar Mayer balloon? Why do I care? So, I don't really, I mean, maybe Tricky's right, but from a standpoint of you have to fly people out, you have to, pay for them to do this, like, what's the return on investment for Sony if they're not in some way contributing to a future technology? As Tricky suggested.
Because they're showing appreciation to their fans.
Yeah, but fan.
Do you think they care about appreciation?
Listen, I'm not defending this. I'm just saying this is a way for Sony to say, hey, let's honor a gamer in one of our games. I get it. But when I first heard about this, I initially thought this is them laying the foundation for your character to be in future games where your PlayStation camera will scan your face and your body and you could be in the game. And maybe this replaces character creation in some games, because a lot of people spend hours, designing their character to make them look like themselves and stuff like that. Maybe this could eliminate that. I don't know.
You know what game had this back in the day? Rainbow Six Vegas.
Did it? I never played it.
It literally had a scan your face and it put it on your operator. It looked horrible because it was an Xbox 360 game, but they did this decade ago. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's interesting that they say that they want to thank their fans, and it's really they're thanking one fan, and how it's going to apply is still not 100% clear. And how is that thanking their fan base by putting one player into a game? Does this work better in the future? Yeah, no, I agree, Tricky. I think this is going to lead to something more depending on the success. I mean, I don't think they're going to certainly give us any sort of numbers of people who apply. Maybe it's 10,000, maybe it's 100,000 people apply. This is obviously going across the world, but the fact is all of the countries that they listed, and it's just going to be one person. Like, is this a publicity stunt? Is this tech for something else that they're going to be doing in the future? I don't know. It's a very strange thing that they're doing. If they said we're thanking our player base and we're doing like 10 players, I could see it being like, okay, they're definitely trying something more. But for them to be doing it one person, I think you're right. This is a test for something.
Like, you know how we used to like pay homage to the fans in video games? Easter eggs, fan service, like putting little references in that only fans would notice. Like, that's how you show like appreciation for fans. like not this. I don't know. It seems, and Sony abandoned PlayStation Stars. Like I got a notification in my email. It's like your PlayStation Stars points are, expiring in May. And I'm like, I can't buy anything with them. I don't have enough points to buy anything. So like, you just reminded me that I have points sitting there that I can't use. Thanks for ruining my day. I mean, not really, but thanks. So, point is, Sony can't keep PlayStation Stars going. I don't expect this to be anything. Like, I don't expect Sony to keep this going. It seems like a one-off thing, or 2 off or 3 off, and then they're fucking done with it because they're like, what are we doing this for?
Maybe they're going to use Cinemersive Labs to figure out how to AI people into games.
Yeah, that's exactly what everybody wants. So the studios that people have to go to get this done, to be in Gran Turismo 7, there's going to be no need for that studio anymore. Fuck them. Just have AI do it.
Yeah, I got nothing.
I got nothing either.
All right, well, there you go, folks. If you're interested, go ahead, apply. Let us know how it goes for you.
But, make sure you use 1,000 characters or less. Explain why PlayStation is important to you. All right, let's close out the show. Let's do some shout-outs. Matt, your shout-outs first, sir.
Shout out to you, Jens, for recording. Shout out to Yield for his rarity update. Shout out to Gareth for writing those rarity updates. Shout out to the fans. Shout out to the Channel 3 community. Make sure to go to channel3.gg to gamify your social media. Got a couple fun events going on over there. But beyond that, shout out to my wife, V. Thank you for all that you do.
Alex, your shout out, sir.
Go shout out to the fans, the fuel to the fire that is Trophy Horse, our awesome community. Thank you all for your continued support. It helps drive us forward, and it just means everything to us. So you guys rule. Thank you very much for your for just showing us all the love. Give a shout out to Will for his artwork. Thank you for all the awesome banners, sir. Shout out to Sid. Looking forward to a jam-packed edition, a jumbo-size edition, a Chinese buffet edition of the Platinum shoutouts. And give a shout out as well to my co-host Tricky and Matt, as well as Yield for the rarity update. Sorry, had a cough there. Yield for the rarity update. And last but not least, give a shout out to my awesome and lovely girlfriend Ashley. I love you, hon. And that's going to be the thing from this week. Tricky, do your thing.
I want to give a shout out to all the fans. Shout out to Will for this artwork. Especially, he's been doing a little overtime, giving me YouTube thumbnails for all my Twitch streams that I've been uploading to YouTube. Go check those out. I basically recorded every time I played Syndicate, and I'm doing the same thing for Assassin's Creed 3. With the Division, I got, what have we been playing DLC? I've been playing the Division mobile game. It's actually not bad. It's a lot better than I thought it was going to be, so been playing that a little bit too. Yeah, shout out to everybody, and shout out to Sweet Mama D. And as if there's nothing else, until next week, happy trophy hunting.
Later.
Eject.
The theme song is Venus by the band Even off their album Zenith. Permission granted by the band and 12 Stone Records. You can find them on Facebook by going to www.facebook.com/EvenPhilippines.